Welcome back to Lakers News Fan Report, where we bring you the latest and most exciting sports news every single day. And today, we need to talk. Something's brewing in Los Angeles. Something big. Something potentially unthinkable. Just months after pulling off what many call the most shocking blockbuster trade in recent NBA memory, sending Anthony Davis to Dallas in exchange for none other than Luka Doncic, the Lakers now find themselves facing a new kind of crisis. A familiar one. And it's the kind of tension that could shake the very foundation of the franchise. Because now, after a disappointing early playoff exit, with serious questions swirling around this team's construction, whispers are growing louder. Could Luka Doncic actually be on his way out of Los Angeles already? You heard that, right? That's not a typo. We want to break down exactly why this seemingly crazy possibility is being seriously talked about behind closed doors, what could push Doncic to consider walking away, and why the Lakers might not be as committed to their new superstar as everyone assumed. So don't go anywhere, because the full picture is way more complicated than you might think. Let's start with the facts. Just a few months ago, the Lakers made headlines worldwide when they sent Anthony Davis to the Dallas Mavericks in exchange for Luka Doncic. The move stunned fans. It was bold, risky, and yet, for a short while, it looked like a masterstroke. Luka and LeBron together at last. Two basketball minds, one of them a generational passer, the other a basketball savant with decades of playoff experience. And yet, it all fell apart faster than anyone could have predicted. Despite securing the third seed in a crowded Western Conference, the Lakers were exposed, badly, in the first round by a tougher, more balanced Minnesota Timberwolves squad. And the biggest problem? A glaring hole in the paint. A problem Luka Doncic was never meant to solve. In that decisive Game 6, 32-year-old Rudy Gobert dominated the Lakers' frontcourt with 27 points, 24 rebounds, and 2 blocks. It wasn't just a bad matchup. It was an outright mismatch. The Lakers had no answer. No physical presence. No rim protection. And suddenly, fans were wondering, did they trade the wrong guy? Now enter Skip Bayless. On his podcast the morning after the Lakers were eliminated, Bayless made a shocking statement that sent social media into a frenzy. "I had a revelation," he said. "The Lakers need to trade for Anthony Davis. That's what they need. Luka and Maxi Kleber for AD. That's how they win." Now obviously, the irony is heavy here. They just traded Davis for Luka. But the seed of that speculation has taken root. Because whether you agree with Skip or not, his words raised a legitimate question. Is Luka Doncic really the right fit in Los Angeles? Let's break it down. Luka is a transcendent offensive talent, a magician with the ball. But he's also ball-dominant, methodical, and not exactly known for elite conditioning. The Lakers, historically, thrive on pace, defense, and transition. LeBron, even at age 40, is still one of the fastest-thinking players in the league. The chemistry was shaky, at best. There were moments of brilliance, stretches where the offense flowed, and Luka's vision elevated the entire roster. But there were also signs of friction. Missed defensive rotations, body language that raised eyebrows, and post-game quotes that hinted at deeper frustrations. And now, sources around the league are saying what fans have been whispering for weeks. Luka might not be happy. According to an NBA insider close to the situation, Doncic was extremely frustrated with the lack of frontcourt help, particularly after Gobert's dismantling in the paint. He reportedly had several tense conversations with Lakers management immediately after the elimination. And while nothing has gone public yet, people are starting to ask, is Luka already thinking about his next move? Now, let's not jump to conclusions yet. Luka Doncic is under contract. The Lakers still control his future for at least another season. But this is the modern NBA. Star players don't have to wait for free agency anymore. They can force movement. We've seen it with Kyrie. We've seen it with Harden. We've seen it with Durant twice. And if Luka even hints that he wants out, there will be a line of teams around the block with offers in hand. One name being floated, the Miami Heat. Pat Riley is reportedly keeping close tabs on the situation. The Heat have young assets, picks, and a win-now core that could be enticing to LA. Another, the New York Knicks. Imagine Luka at Madison Square Garden. Knicks fans have been dreaming of a true superstar for years, and they finally have the assets to make a big swing. And then there's the nuclear option. A return to Dallas. Yes, Dallas. Some insiders believe the Mavericks may be open to reuniting with Luka under the right conditions. If the Davis experiment falls apart, and if LA wants to regain a dominant big man while Dallas regains its franchise face, a second blockbuster between the two teams might not be off the table. Could the Luka era in Los Angeles be a one-year story? Is it possible that this whole experiment was destined to fail from the beginning? Even Lakers fans, those who embraced Luka with open arms, are beginning to wonder. Online forums are filled with debates. Is Luka really a Laker? Will we have won the series with Davis instead? Should we build around Luka or use him to get multiple pieces? And here's where it gets even more complicated. LeBron James is not going to play forever. He's nearing the end. And if the Lakers want to win another ring before that window closes, they need to move fast. Doncic can be part of that plan, but only if there's real commitment on both sides. And right now, that commitment is starting to crack. So we ask the question, is this the beginning of the end for Luka Doncic in Los Angeles? But what do you think about all of this? Meanwhile, the silence from Luka himself has been deafening. Normally active on social media, Doncic has been noticeably absent from public appearances and commentary since the Lakers' playoff loss. Insiders say he's taken an extended trip back to Slovenia, not just for rest, but for reflection, and that silence has only fueled speculation. Is he contemplating his next move? Is he waiting for the front office to show their commitment before saying anything? Or worse, is he already mentally checked out of the Los Angeles experiment? Complicating matters further is the growing rift between Doncic and head coach Darvin Ham. According to multiple reports, the two clashed over offensive schemes late in the season. Doncic reportedly pushed for more freedom and less structured sets, while Ham insisted on more team-oriented ball movement. The friction peaked during the playoffs when Doncic was seen gesturing in frustration during timeouts and reportedly skipped a team film session before Game 5. While both sides have downplayed the tension publicly, league sources suggest the relationship may be beyond repair. And if the Lakers do decide to move on from Doncic, the question becomes, what kind of return do they need to justify such a seismic reversal? League executives believe it would take a massive haul, young talent, draft capital, and possibly an all-star level player to even get the Lakers to consider it. But here's the catch. Everyone knows the Lakers are under pressure. That leverage, or lack of it, could drive Luka's trade value down if teams sense desperation. There's also the matter of timing. The NBA draft is only weeks away, and free agency looms right after. If the Lakers wait too long to make a decision on Luka, they risk missing out on key pieces that could reshape the roster. If they move too quickly, they could make a mistake that haunts the franchise for years. It's a delicate balance, one that Rob Pelinka and the front office can't afford to get wrong. And while the spotlight is on Doncic, it's impossible to ignore the LeBron James factor. LeBron has reportedly stayed out of the Luka drama, publicly at least, but sources say he's privately frustrated with how the season ended. He's been vocal about wanting to compete for a title in his final years, and patience is no longer an option. If LeBron doesn't believe the Lakers can contend next season, don't be surprised if he starts looking elsewhere, or worse, considers hanging it up entirely. Even more troubling, LeBron and Luka didn't exactly develop the kind of bond many had hoped for. On the court, their styles often clashed. Off the court, their personalities didn't fully mesh. While there was mutual respect, there wasn't the kind of chemistry that leads to dynasties. And in a league driven by superstar alliances, that absence of connection could be fatal to the Lakers' future plans. Another wild card, Bronny James. If the Lakers plan to draft or sign Bronny in hopes of keeping LeBron invested, they'll need to ensure the team is still built to compete. And that might not align with keeping Luka, who likely wants a roster that caters to his style, not one built around LeBron's farewell tour. It's a subtle, yet very real conflict that's quietly brewing behind the scenes. In the background of all this chaos, other teams are circling like vultures. The Chicago Bulls, Golden State Warriors, and even the Boston Celtics have reportedly expressed interest in Doncic. Some are offering future draft assets. Others are proposing win-now packages. And for a team like the Lakers, always in championship or bust mode, that kind of interest is hard to ignore, especially when the path forward is so uncertain. Then there's the media. Sports talk shows, podcasts, and Twitter spaces are ablaze with debate. Some believe Luka is a victim of bad roster construction. Others argue he's simply not a leader. And in a city like Los Angeles, where narratives shift faster than the Pacific tides, public opinion can turn in a heartbeat. The same fans who cheered for Luka's debut are now calling radio shows demanding a trade. And what about Jeannie Buss? The owner of the Lakers has largely stayed quiet throughout this ordeal, but insiders say she's not happy. The franchise's reputation and profitability is built on star power and stability. If this Doncic saga turns into another media circus, it could damage the Lakers' brand in ways that go far beyond the basketball court. Don't be surprised if ownership starts pushing for clarity sooner rather than later. Financially, too, the clock is ticking. Luka is set to earn over $40 million next season, and any decision involving him drastically impacts the team's salary cap situation. Keeping him likely means sacrificing depth again. Trading him could open up flexibility, but also risks another rebuild. And with so many veterans on expiring deals, including D'Angelo Russell and Jared Vanderbilt, the Lakers must decide, do we double down on Luka or pivot fast? And if the Lakers truly are thinking about another blockbuster trade, they'll have to consider the long-term consequences. Trading away Luka after everything they gave up to get him could look like a sign of panic. It could hurt their reputation with future stars. It could make agents and players question whether LA is still the destination it once was. The front office knows this. That's why every meeting, every phone call, every leak matters. The concern isn't just basketball-related. It's cultural. Doncic's laid-back approach, his frustration with referees, and his occasionally slow-paced offense have clashed with the Lakers' Showtime identity. It's not just about wins and losses, it's about style. And in Hollywood, style matters. Several former players have weighed in. Richard Jefferson recently said on national TV, "Luka's incredible, but I'm not sure LA is the right stage for him. He needs a team built entirely around his style." That's not what the Lakers are. His comments echoed the sentiment of many who feel Luka might shine brighter elsewhere. Meanwhile, LeBron's silence on the matter has been deafening. He hasn't publicly commented on Luka since the playoff exit, and in NBA circles, silence often says more than words. Has the King lost faith in his co-star? Or is he waiting to see which direction the front office takes before making his own decision? Because let's not forget, LeBron holds a player option for next season. He hasn't confirmed if he'll return. If the Lakers choose to go all in on Luka, that decision could have ripple effects. Could it push LeBron out? Could we be watching the final chapter of his Laker legacy unfold right now? Sources have said LeBron's camp is closely monitoring what the Lakers do next. If they move Luka and bring in a more defensive-minded core, LeBron might feel re-energized to make one final run. But if things stay as they are, retirement, or even a move to play with Bronny remains on the table. In terms of trade value, Luka's stock remains sky-high. He's still only 26, still putting up MVP-level numbers, and still a box office draw. The Lakers know they won't get equal value, not truly, but they might get something more important: balance, depth, fit, and maybe peace. Multiple rival executives have floated the idea of a blockbuster three-team deal. One scenario involves Luka going to New York, Julius Randle and picks heading to a third team, and a combination of defensive anchors and young talent landing in Los Angeles. It's complex, but not impossible. Other wild rumors suggest the Lakers could call up the Spurs. Greg Popovich has long admired Doncic's game. Could San Antonio, with Victor Wembanyama at the center of a youth movement, see Luka as the perfect partner? It's a long shot, but in this league, long shots hit more often than you think. And then there's the behind-the-scenes drama. One report claimed Doncic was blindsided by how quickly Lakers fans turned on him after the playoff loss. He thought he'd have more time, more patience. But in LA, the spotlight is harsh, and it never blinks. Even legends aren't spared. Luka has also made cryptic social media posts, a few removed within minutes, that only fueled the speculation. A photo of a beach sunset with a caption "Time to reflect." A like on a tweet criticizing Lakers' coaching decisions. Is it just frustration, or a breadcrumb trail? And let's not forget about the coaching staff. Rumors suggest Darvin Ham's job isn't safe. Some say the disconnect between him and Luka was obvious all year. If the Lakers want to salvage the relationship with their star, a coaching change might be step one. But is it too late? Then there's Clutch Sports. Luka isn't signed with them yet. But if he were to make that move, it could realign the power dynamic inside the Lakers organization. Suddenly, his voice would carry even more weight. Or perhaps he's avoiding Clutch because he already knows he won't be staying in LA. As a fan, I'm torn. Watching Luka in purple and gold was electric. There were moments when it felt like the future had truly arrived. But after that first-round exit, it's clear this roster isn't built to win now. And with LeBron's clock ticking, we don't have time for patience. If Luka is not happy, or if the fit just isn't there, maybe it's time to admit it, rip off the Band-Aid, and explore the options. I can't wait to read your thoughts in the comments below. Would you keep Luka and try to build around him? Would you move him while his value is high? And who would you want in return? Let's hear it, Lakers Nation. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to Lakers News Fan Report, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update on the biggest stories shaking up the world of Lakers basketball. We've got more drama, more rumors, and more heat coming your way. Until next time, stay passionate, stay loyal, and as always, go Lakers!